This is a Skoda Octavia 2002. Now to remove the stereo we need to slot two thin keys into each of these small holes here. The Kenwood style ones, which are these, work a treat for this. You slot the keys in, and you can just gently release the stereo and pull it forwards. Once we pulled it out, on the back of the radio we have the 20 pin ISO at the top. You have to press the tab on either side of the blue and the yellow to release this. We then have the ISO connections. Push the tab on the side of each of those to release. We have a female dim aerial which we release. To install the stereo into this vehicle we're going to need one accessory for the aerial, which is a PC552. This unit turns the amplifier on, which is located in the base of the aerial. The silver piece connects into the aerial socket, which then allows us to then plug the same female into the back of the stereo. And we take the blue cable to the remote cable on the back of the stereo, which was also blue. Now with the wiring loom, we have our blue remote cable here, and being a Skoda we need to swap the ignition and the live around, so we need to disconnect both the red and the yellows and then repin them so that the red goes to the yellow and the yellow goes to the red. This will then keep the memory working correctly in the vehicle. So now that's repinned, we plug this in. We then need to get our wire strippers, prepare the ends of the cable to be crimped. We now need to use our ratchet crimpers and a butt connector. And join the cables together. So to review, swap the red and yellows and join the blue cable remote output to blue cable of the aerial amplifier turn on lead. Now if we pull the pocket at the bottom, we can pull it out of the dash. That will then give us a bit of access to move most of the wiring loom out of the way. We should be able to push up and over to the side. The aerial connection will go up and over to the other side. I'll put the pocket back in at the bottom. Now we need to install the cage for the stereo. Now for this we slot the cage inside, being careful of all wiring looms and being very careful not to catch your hands on anything. I'll bend the tabs around as much of the dashboard as possible to secure the cage in place. Now to secure the cage in, it's best to use a flathead screwdriver. As you can see, you can just push it in the side of the pins and bend the tabs around and lock them into the back of the dashboard. Now the cage is locked in. We can now plug everything in and run a test to make sure everything's working correctly. Now, as this is Sony, it has a female aerial socket on the back and a female aerial on the car. So we need to use the male aerial adapter, which is supplied in the box with a Sony. push it in a little way first of all. We can then run our test to make sure that all speakers are working and we're picking up FM and medium wave.
Doesn't know that she's the reason why you try.
So, didn't you play on a Friday night as well? So yeah. You could more supported bid process on a Saturday. It was a
Turn the electrics back on. Make sure all of your radio stations are stored. We can now gently push the stereo back into the dashboard. If there's any kind of resistance, you may need to pull the stereo forwards and just work the cable in to one side. Now we can clip on the face. We have our stereo installed, ready to go.